Okay, class. Today we will continue with the explanation of chapter 4. Now, yesterday we already discussed about the model of development that is around the world, that is the capitalist and the socialist model. The capitalist was the liberal model or the laissez-faire kind of model where individual has freedom to do anything, while the socialist it talks about the control of the government in every kind of sector, in every sector of the economic development. Every economic development will be controlled by the state government. Now we discussed, however, India took up this mixed economy. The mixed economy is the combination of both the socialist and the capitalist model that we have already discussed. So India took up this mixed economic model and then started developing its country. But why does we need this planning? Why is this planning important for us? Now, planning without plan is not going to be successful to achieve our goals. So this planning was very important. So where does this idea of planning came from? The idea of planning and its history. Now this idea, the leader, they took it from the directive principle of state policy. That is part 4 of in the part 4 of Indian Constitution, and especially referring to Article 39, where it states that there should not be any concentration of wealth in particular or some section of people only, and moreover the children, the women, or even the men, they should not be abused of their strength to work. Nobody should be abused while they are trying to earn their livelihood. So this planning commission, the planning, it got the idea from the directive principle of the state policy from the Indian Constitution, and then from there they looked into the Article 39 specifically, especially referring to that, and then they started planning out for the economic development of the country. Now in 1930s, yesterday I was telling why this Nehru so much preferred about the socialist idea instead of the capitalist. Now during 1930s there was a Great Depression in the whole world, not only in India, in the whole world. And then during this period of time, even the capitalist economic or this USA-led model of development of economy, the liberal economic idea, they failed. Everyone failed in this Great Depression, and then there was a Great Depression all over the world, and then only the Russian economy could withstand this depression, because everything was directed by, and everything was dictated and controlled by one central power. So when the whole world was depressed with the economic recession in 1930s, this the Soviet Union government, they did not fall into this Great Depression, and because of this it really impressed Nehru, and then he also wanted to take up the idea of the socialist model. However, like we have already discussed, not only socialist capitalist idea was adopted, but they have mixed it up, and then they adopted the mixed economy. So let's see what was the planning history of India. The idea of planning was, like I told you, it derives from the idea of directive principle of the state policy, referring to Article 39, to promote such a social order where there is no concentration of wealth, where the strength of workers, men, women, and children are not abused, So looking up to these two ideas, the planning commission planning idea of planning was set up, and then National Planning Committee was set up in 1938 by Indian National Congress under the chairmanship of Nehru. And then the committee, what did this committee recommended was there should be a basic industries, these basic industries, mineral resources, railways, waterways, and other big industries should be owned, or it should be set up by the government, because big industries like these things cannot be handled by individual, or it will be very cumbersome for the individual to set up such a big businesses or industries. Now the second thing what influenced the planning in India was the Bombay Plan that was set up in 1944. Now this idea was brought by some prominent industrialist leaders like this Birla, J.R.D. Tata, Thakurdas, and there are many people whose names we cannot mention everything here. Now this Bombay Plan, what they did was they did not ask the government to give those industries into their individual hand, but rather this group of people, this group of rich people, the industrialists, they came together and then they asked government to bring all the basic industries and then the insurance company under the control of the state, that is the country of India, the government. Instead of asking them to give it to the individual, they asked the government to take control of this basic industry, so there should be some equalities in earning and to raise the standard of the livelihood of the people. Now the third idea was the People's Plan, was set up by M.N. Roy in 1945, and here especially this M.N. Roy, he was emphasizing on the collective state farming. Now land should not be owned by some individual, something like that. The agriculture should not be owned by individual, but rather it should be controlled by the state, and then there should be a collective farming. So that was the second idea which inspired the planning in India. Now let's see the Planning Commission. Now this commission, it was set up in 1950. Now Planning Commission and committee is different. Commission and planning is a very different. Committee is very different. You please keep that in mind. Now this commission, this group of people, they have to, their main objective is to prepare a blueprint of development, how they should bring out the development. They should bring the blueprint of the model of development the Indian country should take up. So what is this planning? Why is this planning? Now planning means it is an attempt to achieve a goal, a certain goal, especially in concern with the economic well-being, by using by utilizing this country resources in a very optimum way. Now under this planning, they want to use the country resources in a very judicious way, in a very controlled manner, in a very systematic way, so that the country resources is not being wasted or is not being overused or whatever. There should not be any wastage of the resource of the country. So everything under this planning, it means to achieve a goal of economic well-being for the country, and then the resources should be controlled by under the direction of the central government. So what were the objectives of the planning in India? The first one is to increase the national income. Now if national income increases, there is an improvement in individual earning and the life standards of the people are being raised. Definitely when your father is earning more, then your family standard will increase, or you have many money to spend for your family or for yourself. So the same thing it happens here. If there is an increase in national income, definitely the livelihood, the life standard of the people of the country will be better. So their first objective was to increase the national income of the country. The second one is the social justice. Now, why does this planning was needed in India? Because there should be a social justice. If this social justice is not prevailing, then definitely only some group of people will become rich, and then the maximum or the majority of the people will remain poor. So here, what is meant by this social justice is it aims to remove the poverty and reduce the economic inequalities among the people. Under this planning commission, they try to achieve the social justice by removing the poverty, and then they reduce the economic inequalities, and then to provide equal opportunities of earning to all the people, or like whether it be a man, woman, or even the children who are eligible for earning. And then here under this planning, the objective is to provide basic minimum needs and foods and shelter or clothing. The basic minimum needs of the people is the food, shelter, and clothing. So under this planning, their main focus was to at least provide the people with the minimum basic needs, and then to take care of the STs, SCs, and OBCs, and even the women folks who are being deprived or who are being mistreated, or who are being looked down by other group of people. So in order to bring equality among all the sections of the people in the country, the objective of the planning commission in India was to prevail the social justice. Now the third one is to be self-reliant. Now self-reliant means not to depend so much on the foreign aids or their loans. Now definitely when we are not self-sufficient with our own economic status, we keep on depending on other, then definitely we are influenced, or we are being controlled by those people who are providing us with the economic help. So in this regard, self-reliance was very important, and then one of the main objective was to achieve a self-reliant country, or economic status of a country should be self-reliant with less dependent on the foreign aids and the loans. The fourth objective of this planning in India was to increase the agricultural and industrial product. Now when we have more foods, we can share to others also. If we don't have food for our own self, we can't share it to someone. But when we have plenty, we have something to spare to others. Now definitely that rules apply here. When there is increase in agricultural products and then in industrial products, that means there is more opportunity for employment, there are more opportunities for earning, and then life of the people will be better. So increase in agricultural and industrial products was one of the main objective, and then to improve the rural development or in the technologies, infrastructures like this transport, communication, and electricity. Now without electricity in this present time, nothing is possible. Now like even the gadgets which we are using is running in the support of the electricity. So without electricity, without road connection, without communication, we will lag behind. So the objective of the planning commission was to bring a better improvement in the industrial products, in the agricultural products, to improve the rural development in the technologies, infrastructures like the transport, communication, and electricities, and many other things, etc. So that was another main objective. Now the fifth one was growth in the investment rate. Now it opened the opportunities to foreign nation and company to invest in India so as to create more employment avenues and improve infrastructure for the country. Now when we allow the other foreign countries to invest in our country, like building up industries or business managements or many other things, there are many other things where we can allow the foreign investment to be happening in the country. So when these things comes, it really helps in the growth of the economy of the country also, because it gives more opportunity for the young people to earn from these companies, or it also improves the infrastructure of the country when we give investment to these foreign countries. So that was another main objective of this planning commission, or this planning idea in this India. So for today, I think that is all we need to discuss. If there is any confusion, I'll be very glad to have you. You can contact me in any way. So I hope you understood the lesson which we have discussed, the topic which we have discussed today.